What's cracking? This is Darren Phat-Man McDuffie helping you become perfectly healthy and toned, brought to you by I'mThePhatMan.com. Today's video is about red meat. Is red meat really murder or is it misunderstood? So before I get into the video, I wanted to tell you a short story. In college, I decided to give up red meat. I had a lot of stomach problems whenever I would eat beef, whenever I would eat hamburgers or anything. So I decided to give it up. And it wasn't until about 2 years ago when I decided to try grass-fed beef that I realized the difference between grain-fed and grass-fed. And today I'm going to explain that to you. So there's a difference in grain-fed and grass-fed meat, and many people don't know this. Most people are going to the grocery store, and the beef that you're getting in the grocery store is almost entirely grain-fed. That means it's fed with corn. What you need to understand is there's what we call essential fatty acids. So with essential fatty acids, these are things that we need that our body can't really make. So we're deriving these from other sources. So there are two essential fatty acids that you really need to concern yourself with when it comes to red meat. The first one is omega-6 and the second one is omega-3. But to just drill down that on a deeper level, you need to be concerned with the ratios. Now, way back when we had our Paleolithic ancestors, they had a ratio of about 1:1, which was a perfect ratio. Now, the ratio that they're saying that's acceptable to us here in modern day is 4:1. Now, here's what's happening with most people. Because they are consuming grain-fed beef, that ratio has been skewed. And what's happening is that we're getting 15:1, where 15, we're getting omega-6 15:1. Now, what happens when this, what actually happens when you get more omega-6 than omega-3? Most people don't understand that you get inflammation, and inflammation is the start of all disease. I don't care what kind of disease it is, if it's a heart disease, diabetes, any type of disease that's out there, it all starts with inflammation. And when you're feeding a cow corn instead of giving it its native diet, it throws off the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. And again, you get that 15:1 ratio. And when you consume that type of beef, you're putting yourself at risk again for inflammation. And inflammation, to just go back again, is the start of all disease. Now, one thing that you need to understand about the beef that you're eating is that when a cow is fed corn and it's not the cow's native diet, the cow gets sick. And most cows, once they're fed corn, and their reason why they're fed corn, so they can get to the market faster. They get fatter, they can get fattened up, and then they go to market faster where they can be slaughtered and you can have food. Now, when this happens, and when they're constantly fed in corn, being fed corn, they develop something called acidosis. And when they develop this acidosis, what will happen is that the farmers have to give them antibiotics. And for those of you that know my background, you know that I was a pharmaceutical rep, and one of my product lines was antibiotics. I never understood why farmers would give the livestock antibiotics, but now I know. And now I wanted to explain that to you. So you know now that once these cows have this acidosis from being fed corn, then they have to be given antibiotics. And I'll repeat something to you that I heard from Paul Chek a long time ago. He said, you can't get good health from sick animals. And most of these animals that we're consuming today are sick animals because they're being fed something that's not native to them. So if you have a choice of getting a cow that's being fed on grass-fed, or getting grain-fed, always elect to go grass-fed. And if you're someone in some area that doesn't have access to having grass-fed beef, there are a number of outlets on there. One I can think of is US Wellness. The other one I can think of is Tropical Traditions, where you can order your meat and have that grass-fed, and they can send that to you. And I will share the links with you on the bottom of this video. So again, what you're really looking out for, and people think that this doesn't really matter, but it does matter when it comes to your meat. If you're going to be someone who eats meat, if you said that, you know, vegetarian, and you want to go vegetarian, and that's fine. That's your choice. But when you're getting to consume meat, if you want to do that, then you need to make sure that your meat has the right ratios of omega-6 to omega-3. And again, that acceptable ratio is 4:1 right now in early days it was 1-to-1, but it's very hard to do that. And the thing that you have to really realize is that you're putting yourself at risk for inflammation. And again, inflammation is that catalyst to start disease. So hope you learned something from this video. I will share those links with you for US Wellness and also Tropical Traditions, where you can order your meat, your red meat. And again, hope you learned something. And please comment on the video. This has been Darren Phat-Man McDuffie, helping you become perfectly healthy and toned. And I will see you on the next video. Thanks.